Hi, I'm Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris,
Blah, blah, blah.
also a co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for daily updates on all our Keto Chow happenings.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us on our journey.
Yep. And normally this would be a live stream, but we are unavailable. And so we're doing this as a recorded video. And we're taking this opportunity to answer some of the kind of frequently asked questions that we get. So one that people have been asking a lot about, we've been talking quite a bit about gelatin and collagen, and we wanted to talk about, okay, why would you use those?
Mm-hmm.
And then how you would use those. So you want to kick us off?
Yes. So the difference between gelatin and collagen is really not that big, honestly.
One has a couple more amino acids
Yeah.
that the other one doesn't, and that's the collagen doesn't thicken stuff up, but
Gelatin does.
Mhm.
So a lot of times people will like to use
Also, collagen mixes easier, but
collagen mix is way easier for
Yeah.
sure. It's an incomplete protein, but it can be a way to add protein to your keto chow.
Mhm.
So I actually use a collagen a lot. Just put an extra scoop of collagen in when I'm mixing, and then that's great. And then when I add it into Chronometer, I get a little bit higher protein.
Yeah.
But like we said, it's not complete, but that's one reason why you would want to use collagen is to just get more protein.
Now, before we move on to that,
Okay.
what's meant by a complete protein?
That's a question you should ask yourself.
Okay, no, I should ask. Okay, so just to explain it, a complete protein is a protein that has all of the essential amino acids. Essential vitamins, essential amino acids, essential nutrients are things that human beings have to get from something else. We don't make them, but it's required for us in order to be healthy. And so a complete protein has all of the amino acids that are necessary for humans to be okay. Another way to think about it is humans don't make vitamin C. We need to get it from somewhere else. All the minerals that we eat are also essential because we don't make them because we don't have little nuclear reactors inside of us.
Weird.
But yeah, so a complete protein would have a complete thing of all the different essential amino acids. And collagen is missing a couple of those, which is why usually people say, hey, it's good to supplement with an incomplete protein, but don't count it towards your protein goal. A bag of pork rinds, which is, by the way, a lot of collagen, will actually say on it, not a significant source of protein.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, sorry, I just wanted to get that out of the way in case people were wondering what's meant by not a complete and blah, blah. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so
that's fine. So anyway, our friend Christy Davis from the Keto Village Facebook page, she had a question about using gelatin in Keto Chow. So she decided to do a little experiment where she sent a bunch of Keto Chow to a bunch of different people who, on her own page, this is her own thing, who said that they were having bathroom problems or tummy problems with Keto Chow. And Christy's like, you know what? Keto Chow is really great. So I wonder if gelatin will help with that. So she actually would buy the beef gelatin, send it to them, send them some Keto Chow, and just say, hey, would you try this and tell me what you think and see if it helps? And it really did help a lot of people. And so it's interesting that it does that.
And there's a lot of discussion as to whether it's if you only use a teaspoon of gelatin in a serving of Keto Chow, it thickens it up a bit. If you use 2 teaspoons, it makes it kind of into a pudding.
Yep.
And if you use 3 teaspoons, it makes Jello.
Yeah. So you'd dump out your Keto Chow, and it's like.
Yeah. But there's some discussion as to whether it's the additional thickness. A lot of people think that it's the additional amino acids. There are some amino acids in gelatin, specifically beef gelatin, that help with digestion of milk protein. And well, Keto Chow, most of the flavors of Keto Chow use milk protein.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the current theory as to why people who get bubble gut or have bathroom issues or whatever with Keto Chow, a lot of times using a gelatin will help. Um, Other people just like to use it because they like to thicken up the Keto Chow.
Mm-hmm.
If you use heavy cream to make Keto Chow, it makes a really thick, no, depending on how much water you use, makes a really nice thick thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use butter, it's quite a bit thinner. And some people are like, hey,
I
I
want to
want it,
use butter, but I want it
I want it
thicker.
thick.
Yeah.
And using gelatin can help that.
So
Um,
mixing gelatin is a little bit tricky.
yes, it is.
Um,
Well, collagen isn't. So
yeah,
let's hit that first. Go ahead and talk about collagen.
mixing collagen isn't very tricky. So
So
I
how do you,
just put it. I just put a scoop in as I'm mixing my keto chow the normal way. You can mix it with
blender
a
ball?
blender bottle or an immersion blender or a blender just like normal. I don't think it has a problem even just shaking it because collagen is fairly easy to
Yeah,
mix.
it absorbs the water fine and it just
Hmm.
kind of mixes in. And you can't even tell it's there,
Hmm.
except that your hair gets more silky. And
Yeah, it does.
it makes your hair silky and
And
smooth.
smooth.
Okay. Well, what about mixing gelatin?
Yep. So what I've heard is that if you put a little bit of water into a bowl and then put the gelatin into there and let it bloom first, then it works better.
So that's where it turns into a flour. And
Turns into a pretty
no,
flour.
it gets kind of chunky and it sucks up the water.
It does its thing. And in fact, if you even heat up that water and then get it to dissolve
You have to bloom it first.
after you bloom it,
Yes. Oh,
that
sorry. I wanted to make sure the people at home knew very specifically. You bloom the gelatin first,
Mhm.
then you heat it up.
Yes. Then you could just put that in with your like warm butter and then mix the keto
Yeah.
chow after that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
I want to make sure people are understanding. Yeah. So bowl of water, cold water.
Bloom.
Yeah. You just sprinkle it on top and you let it
Mhm.
absorb, and it looks like it's just kind of chunky and weird looking.
Mhm.
It doesn't dissolve. It just soaks up the water. Then you heat that up.
Mhm. And then put that in with your keto chow just as if
Mhm.
you're adding, another ingredient.
Now, I've had some success. That right there is the surefire,
Mhm.
never fail, always works way to do it. I have had some success if I'm mixing up keto chow in a blender. If I'll put the butter in first, then keto chow, the whatchamacallit, the stuff that we're talking,
Gelatin.
gelatin, right on top of the other powder, and add hot water to it and then start blending. Depending on how quickly I get it blending after I put the hot water in,
Mhm.
sometimes I don't end up with problems. But where you'll see problems is if you've ever had that boba tea, with the little,
Little dot, little whatever they're
yeah,
called.
they're,
Mm.
what's it called? Tapioca starch pearls.
Okay.
So you end up with little teeny chunks of gelatin.
Yeah.
Because if you add hot water to gelatin, it won't dissolve like it's supposed to. It'll just kind of chunk up. And so yeah, sometimes I can get it to it just works perfectly. And other times I end up with a couple of little gummy
And
bears
you're like,
inside of my
oh,
stuff.
that's
And it's like,
yummy.
that's chewy. Okay.
But if you do have that problem, if you want to pour it into a mug or heat it up in the microwave, a lot of times you can fix it
Yeah.
just by heating it up. You could even heat it up, mix it, and throw it back in the fridge for lunch or whatever.
And well, I did an experiment not too long ago where I actually ended up putting a tablespoon of keto chow
Gelatin.
gelatin in each serving of keto chow, which, as previously discussed, makes a pretty thick mix. Um, and it was too thick to drink out of a blender bottle. But what I found that I could do is, well, you could either eat it with a spoon or get some of it out. Like if you shake it up, it breaks it up a little bit, and at least you could pour it out in big chunks into a mug. As soon as you heat it up, it liquefies again, In fact, all the thickness goes away, and then I would just heat it up and drink it hot.
Hmm.
And then you couldn't even tell that the gelatin was in there, and it was just dandy. But yeah, so again, we've got collagen and gelatin that people could add to keto chow,
Hmm.
depending on what they want to do. And mixing gelatin, I mean, collagen is super easy. Mixing gelatin is a bit more nuanced. And yeah, anything else about that you wanted to talk about?
Just try different things yourself. Play with it and see what you like.
Hmm.
Because, like we said, like a teaspoon is good for thickening. 2 teaspoons is like a pudding, and then 3 teaspoons, which would be the equivalent of a tablespoon, makes it like thick like Jello. So, depending on what you like, try different ways
And I
for
think
yourself.
so. Christy Davis, based on the experiments she did, people were usually doing a teaspoon per
Per
shake
shake.
to help with the digestive problems.
Yeah,
So,
and that was just having it as a shake like normal, and yeah, it seems to really help. So
yeah.
give it a try if you are having any problems.
Okay, so there you go. Collagen and gelatin. Why and how?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for
Have a good
joining
day,
us.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.